looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time, a night to remember.
The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now!
How do you like it? On the show.
So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this.
Fight night, only on DAZN.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Fight Week here in Monaco. It's weigh-in day ahead of tomorrow's action from the Salle des Etoiles. Monte Carlo showdown number 5. Akhmadaliev versus Espinoza is your main event, and it's all live exclusively around the world. Right here, of course, the home of boxing on DAZN. Well, Jamie Wood here to bring you all the proceeds from today's weigh-in, and alongside me, 2 former IBF world champions, probably the 2 most content former fighters walking around Monte Carlo right now. Dazzling Darren Barker, Showtime, Sonny Edwards. Gents, great to have you in the studio this week. Sonny, firstly to you, I mean, you've only been retired a fortnight, but everyone on the DAZN broadcast team is sleeping with one eye open because it feel like you're here to steal everyone's jobs. Should we just go now? Is that the plan?
No, we still need other members of the team, but now, in all seriousness, it's great to be a part, so thank you to DAZN. Thank you, Frank Smith, actually, for really getting this one over the line. I came here, Monte Carlo, Monaco, in the summer, and very happy to be back. It's one of the best places in the world, I think. And to be here for boxing and be part of the show, it's a massive show. You've got some real top world level talent. We've got some British domestic fights as well, British-Irish domestic fights to look forward to, yeah. I'm really looking forward to the card. And
how has the last fortnight been for you, Sonny? I take it you are still very much retired. He's very happy, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, I'll be real. I mean, for me, boxing has been work since I was 9 years old. So all the side parts I started managing to get involved with, the managing the fighters, the commentary, the punditry, and doing corners, everything else. I really started falling in love with Darren Barker's lifestyle.
He does. He has it off, Darren, to be fair. I want to ask you, Sonny, as a fighter who's recently retired, of course, when you look at this main event, MJ Akhmadaliev has made a lot about this being the final hurdle to fight Naoya Inoue. He's not really spoke that much about Espinoza this week. Is that a danger? Could that be a danger tomorrow night?
I mean, potentially, but I'm kind of in the same mindset. I think Akhmadaliev is one of the standout fighters in the world, and I have been dying to see the Inoue fight. And I know that there was things behind the scenes that maybe should have happened by now and it hasn't. So, you know, without not rooting for his opponent, I would love to see Akhmadaliev get through this, look great doing it, and really order one of the biggest fights in boxing.
The WBA interim world super bantamweight title is on the line in your main event. Let's give you a little reminder of what is coming your way tomorrow night on DAZN. We begin here in Monte Carlo, 7:30 p.m. local time, 6:30 p.m. UK time back home, with heavyweight action as Tera Moana, unbeaten Paris Olympian, looks to move 5-0 after officially signing with Matchroom last month. There's an intriguing matchup in the lightweight division as well, as Gary Cully collides on a crossroads with Maxi Hughes over 10 rounds. Will the freshness or experience prevail? World title action follows as 2-time Olympic medalist Beatriz Ferreira makes the first defence of her IBF World Lightweight title against Lucia Bidesa over 10 2-minute rounds. Then Chev Clark looks to cap a real breakthrough year for himself by adding the European title to his domestic collection. C4 and unbeaten Leonardo Mosquera, who is 15-0 with 9 knockouts, by the way, contests the vacant EBU cruiserweight strap before your main event. Former unified world super bantamweight champion Murodjon Akhmadaliev is on the hunt for undisputed phenom Naoya Inoue. MJ collides with Ricardo Espinoza for the WBA interim world title at 122 pounds. Over 12 rounds, looking to set up a shot with the monster next year. And as I say, it's all live right here on DAZN. I am hearing we are just about ready to get today's weigh-in underway. Over to you, our Master of Ceremonies, our very own Mr. David Diamante.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour et bienvenue au Casino de Monte Carlo, ici dans la magnifique Principauté de Monaco. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the beautiful historic Casino Monte Carlo for the official weigh-in for our big night of World Championship professional boxing taking place in Monaco on Saturday night. Now, it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored on the night by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, and Drip. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great fight card. We have 5 fights on the card. We have 4 title fights. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Ladies and gentlemen, our first test, 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he fights out of Odessa, Ukraine. His professional record, 5 victories, 1 defeat. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Volodymyr Katsuk. Katsuk. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, perfect. 4 fights, 4 victories, all 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2024 Olympian fighting out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and proudly representing his Cook Island heritage. Please welcome Tera Moana. Tera Moana. Tera Moana. Now to the scale, Volodymyr Katsuk. .238.5, 238.5 for Volodymyr Katsuk. Now to the scale, Tera Moana. .267.5 for Tera Moana.
But a new face to look forward to in the heavyweight division. Has had 4 fights, but he's classing this as his real professional debut. Signed with Matchroom last month. He says he wants to capture the attention, show everyone who he is. How does he do that, Darren Barker?
Spiteful, aggressive, and that's how he fights. Naturally wants to get into terror.
Tera Moana versus Volodymyr Katsuk, 6 rounds heavyweights. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Monte Carlo, Monaco.
I just think grab the fight by the scruff of the neck, get out there and show how good you are. He's been a terrific amateur, and now it's his time to shine in a division that is going to start looking for the new stars for the future.
And I'll be real, I feel like his personality has been infectious. I don't know about everyone else, and I don't know what the response has been to him so far, really. But, you know, the press conference I thought was in great form. For, you know, a kind of foregone maybe conclusion kind of level fight that we expected maybe. The weigh-in had a little bit of something. David Diamante, we didn't know how he was going to say his last name. He had a dance. He had a dance. I've never seen the hacker come before the. Do you know what I mean? That's groundbreaking stuff right there. And But in all seriousness, I think his fighting acumen and his personality has a lot of legs, and obviously he's in the money weight division.
And you mentioned the personality there. What's nice is it's not forced. It's completely authentic.
He looks like he's having a good time.
Just a character.
He looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, and Turki Al Sheikh, His Excellency, is a fan, which no doubt will have added a bit of excitement ahead of tomorrow.
The weigh-in continues with a 10-round WBA Continental Lightweight Championship fight. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 27 victories. He has 7 defeats, 2 draws, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Rosington, Yorkshire, England. Here is the former IBO lightweight champion of the world, Maximus Hughes. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is a defending champion. He's a southpaw. His professional record, 18 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Naas, County Kildare, Ireland. Here is the former Irish national champion and the reigning, defending, and here's the reigning and defending WBA Continental Lightweight Champion, ranked number 5 in the world by the WBA, the Diva, Gary Cully. Now to the scale, Maxie Hughes. $134 even for Maxie Hughes, 134 pounds. And now to the scale, the defending champion, Gary, the Diva Cully. $134.5 for Gary, the Diva Cully, 134.5.
Well, there's always been questions, hasn't there, Jim? Gary Cully make lightweight, but one thing I do want to ask you about, Sonny Edwards, is Reece Mould is in the building, a stablemate of Maxie Hughes, and you went through this a fortnight ago when you had Cal Yafai in your dressing room on fight night, when you were having your hands wrapped, the mind games. Maxie says this is a revenge mission for himself. Are you expecting those mind games to continue tomorrow night?
Maybe, but at the same time, I think both fighters now are in a position where they know the job in hand. The hardest thing really is the scales, let's be real. Everything starts having fun after that. So I think they're both looking forward to the fight. I think they're both looking forward to trying to steal the show and also put their career in 2025 in a great position, and a win for either lads here, I do believe genuinely will do that.
Darren, do you think it's important for Gary to almost have that self-belief, turn through the shots once again? We saw him be so destructive after that Felix fight, maybe been slightly more cagey.
Yeah, look, I love the fight. Contrasting styles, so interesting. You can see the size difference as far as height's concerned.
Versus Maxie Hughes, 10 rounds for the WBA Continental Lightweight Championship from Monaco.
Maxie Hughes not in any mood to mess about by the looks of things.
Straight off the stage.
No interest in any face-offs. But what were you saying there, Darren? Just pick that back up about the size difference.
Contrasting styles, you've got the height and the reach of Gary Cully, and almost since that Felix defeat, where he's not fully rotating through the shots at the fear of a shot coming back, it almost makes him harder to beat because he's taking all the risk away. So it's down to Maxie Hughes to get in there and try and land those big shots. The chin does still come higher of Cully, but again, there's so much on the line here. It's a must-win for both.
I actually had the pleasure of spending some time in the Unit 3 gym. Niall, Gary Cully. Over to you, David.
Making his way to the stage, the challenger, 23 victories, 2 defeats, 2 draws, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Lille, North France. Here is the former 3-time WBF Super Featherweight and IBO Featherweight World Champion. Please welcome Licia Budersa. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the defending world champion, Her young professional record thus far perfect, 5 fights, 5 victories, with 2 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, here is the 2020 Olympic silver medalist and the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF lightweight champion of the world, Beatriz the Beast Ferreira. Now to the scale, the challenger, Licia Murodjon. 130.6 for Murodjon, 130.6. And now to the scale, the defending world champion, Beatriz Ferreira. $134 even, 134 pounds bang on for Beatriz the Beast Ferreira.
Yep, 2-time Olympic medalist, silver and bronze in Tokyo and Paris. The Beast of Brazil, Beatriz Ferreira, is back. First defence of her World Championship she won in April. Do you think, gents, now she has put the Olympic dream behind her, so to speak, she's achieved all she could in the amateur code, do you expect her to be a more focused version of herself tomorrow night now the goalposts have moved?
Yeah, and I do genuinely believe that it's better for a fighter to really focus on the one discipline. I do. I think it allows them much more calmness and stability in preparing over periods of time and getting more acute to the longer rounds.
Frightening.
Aura.
Yeah, she does. She has exactly that aura. She's frightening. She just wants to fight. She's one of those boxers that is happy in their safe zone when she's in a boxing ring.
And I'll be right, I'm a massive fan of her. You know, probably more than I'd be willing to admit on DAZN. She, I think, is a fantastic fighter, one of the best in the world over 10 rounds. Dangerous. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but it's like one of those girls that fight like a man.
And do you know what I think?
In my opinion.
Bia speaks a little bit of English, but you see, when she starts learning a bit more phrases, so far I've managed to teach her all right geezer and easy peasy, but I think she could be a superstar, and she's on the hunt for everybody at 135 pounds. Chief support action next. Here is David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the vacant European Cruiserweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, perfect. 15 fights, 15 victories with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Originally from the Dominican Republic and now living, training, and fighting out of Blanc, France, here is the 2-time French and European Cruiserweight Champion, the King 2.0, Leonardo Mosquera. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now making his way to the stage, his opponent, perfect professional record as well. 10 fights, 10 victories, 7 of his 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Gravesend, Kent, England, here is the reigning and undefeated British WBA Intercontinental and the IBF International Cruiserweight Champion, Big Chef, Siobhan C4 Clark. Now to the scale, Leonardo Mosquera. $198.6 from Mosquera, 198 pounds, 6 ounces Mosquera. Now to the scale, Siobhan C4 Clark.
199 pounds, bang on. 199, bang on for Chev Clark.
Yep, C4 Chev Clark looking to go 4 from 4 in 2024, a year that he also picked up the British title, looking to win that European cruiserweight crown. The European title down a belt, you won twice. Sonny obviously showed the levels and bypassed European level and became a world champion instead. But a big milestone, we talked about that yesterday in his career, and he is promising violence. Why are you a fan?
Well, he brings it, you know, and everyone wants to see destruction every time an opponent gets in the ring, and that's exactly what Chev Clark brings. This is a big fight for him. Mosque is a physical specimen. He really is. He's a beast. He's aggressive on the front foot, so don't blink.
European Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Monte Carlo, Monaco.
Sonny, Chev has been talking about still wanting to go and win that British title outright for keeps. But if he picks up this European title in style, he's going to be in a great position. Is it difficult to go backwards?
It's difficult to go back, but at the same time, you want what you want, but how many British fights is he going to be able to get in the timeline that he needs them? And, you know, if the big fights start coming and the world titles start coming after the European title, if he comes through it, you know, Mosquera's no joke. Unbeaten, he's pretty much home. Okay, we're not in France by the Principality of Monaco, but we're just over the tunnel, you know what I mean? So Mosquera's in his part of the neck of the woods, and it's up to Chev to really come and lay his stake.
Thriving division, isn't it, domestically, that cruiserweight division. What fights would you like to see Chev in next year?
Well, it's interesting. Does he go down a domestic route? Is there the challenges? I think for him, he's got to have his sights on the big guns. He's got to be looking at potential fights with Opataya. You know, Billum Smith obviously is going to be looking to get back into world title contention. Zerdo Ramirez, all of those guys, they've got to be your target. But right now, it's about winning every fight that's put in front of you.
And it's a bit of a shame because 12 months ago, he was looking at, 3 British fighters holding world titles. You had Lawrence Okoli, then you had CBS, you had Riakpo bopping around there as well. So it's a bit of a shame for him, really, that now he's getting there. And there's some monsters in the division, I think.
Absolutely. Well, let's bring the main event to the stage for the final time this afternoon. Here is David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here today to one of the most glamorous places on the planet, the Monte Carlo Casino here in Monaco, for the official weigh-in of our big night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place in Monaco on Saturday night. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the WBA Interim Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 30 victories against 4 defeats, 25 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, please welcome the former world title challenger, Ricardo Espinoza. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, 12 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Namangan, Uzbekistan, here's the 2016 Olympic bronze medalist and the former unified WBA and IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Uzbek Olona Jahon Championa Murodjon Akhmadaliev. Now to the scale, Ricardo Espinoza. 55.15 kilos, 55.15 for Ricardo Espinoza. And now to the scale, Murodjon Akhmadaliev. 54.9 kilos for MJ, 54.9 for Murodjon Akhmadaliev.
Uzbekistan versus Mexico in your main event. Potentially a shot, and Naoya Inoue awaits the winner. 34 knockouts between these two. Don't really believe, Sonny Edwards, that MJ is going to have to go looking for Espinoza tomorrow.
No, this is a fight, and I mean, we know that Akhmadaliev is a very, very good fighter. How much do we know of Espinoza? Probably a lot less. I mean, defeats to Daniel Roman, defeats to Casemiro, a knockout defeat earlier in his career. I mean, not earlier in his career, sorry, the last couple of years, really. I don't know. For me, Akhmadaliev is favourite for this. He looked fantastic on the scales. He looks, you know, almost like he hasn't had to make weight. He looks very strong, he looks very tough, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. I think it's going to be fireworks in Monte Carlo.
And the chat was, Darren, against Marlon Tabales when he lost his world titles. He got going too late, probably can't afford to do that in this fight tomorrow.
No, he's got to grab the fight by the scruff of the neck, get busy. Espinoza, the interesting thing to look at when you look at his record is the 25 knockouts, power in both hands.
Murodjon Akhmadaliev, Ricardo Espinoza, 12 rounds for the vacant WBA Interim Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Matchroom Boxing in association with World of Boxing, live on DAZN from Monte Carlo, Monaco.
Great to see MJ back in the ring, and of course that is tomorrow night. We are live from Monte Carlo at 7:30 p.m. local time tomorrow. But the fight action gets underway here on DAZN tonight over in Orlando, Florida, where bantamweights Antonio Vargas and Winston Guerrero will battle it out. Then tomorrow, of course, as I mentioned, we're in Monte Carlo for a world title action fight. Murodjon Akhmadaliev takes on Ricardo Espinoza before we head to the Toyota Arena in Ontario as Alexis Rocha meets the hard-hitting Mexican Raul Curiel, and the weekend ends with a heavyweight collision in Gibraltar, where former world title challenger, the body snatcher Dillian Whyte, continues his comeback against Ebenezer Tete. And the action continues, of course, next weekend on DAZN. As if you needed reminding of this one, firstly, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships light heavyweight crown is on the line next Saturday in Florida, when champion Jared Warren makes the first defence of his title against Mike Richmond. And before that, the one you just cannot simply miss, Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, the Ring of Fire reignited in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The top two heavyweights in the world do battle once again. All the build-up and all the action throughout the week, live here only on DAZN. And Sonny, I'm going to ask you for your thoughts on this rematch immediately. Eddie Hearn was quite vocal yesterday.
We'll get to that, but what are 12 days of Christmas DAZN are offering?
Not bad.
There is fights every day, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday, like... There's so much boxing, the global home of boxing. But yeah, sorry, what was your question about the main event?
You don't have to become a company man straight away, you know.
No, but I have never seen in one place, one screen, them be able to advertise so many different fights, so many different shows, so many different cards in all different places of the world. And me as a fighter first and a fight fan and involved in any which way I can, I love to see it, I'll be real. You know, more trips for the lads. Absolutely.
Well, the global home of boxing, obviously it culminates in that main event. Just before we do talk about Tyson Fury and Usyk, the rematch, the Ring of Fire and Riyadh reignited. So many R's in that, it's a struggle to get out, to be honest. But your pick of tomorrow's action, gents, what fights are sticking out to you here?
For me personally, I like Cully, Maxie Hughes.
I was going to go with the same.
Yeah, well,
I was going to go with the same.
I knew you was, that's why I've said it.
Yeah.
But for me, there's, like I said in the face-off there, contrasting styles, an awful lot on the line, a must-win for both here. It's a really, really mouth-watering clash.
We do love saying must-win. That's always the narrative. But Eddie did say the loser of that fight is at the back of the pile. The winner looks to cement a world title shot, or certainly be in contention to do that next year. So I guess it is a pressuring fight, as they all are.
That is the pot of gold, to push on and challenge for big titles.
Sonny, I want to ask you, let's bring it back quickly to Riyadh, of course, next week. All the action tomorrow we're looking forward to very much so from here in Monte Carlo, but everyone's already talking about the rematch. How do you see it?
Well, at first we're going to have to get through the Ishmael Davies fight.
Of course.
So, you know, my mind is fully focused on supporting Ish and the career he's building, but what a fantastic two cards for Ish to come on. AJ Dubois, Riyadh season's debut in Wembley. Fast forward 3-4 months later, a promise from His Excellency himself, whilst he was still in the ring against Josh Kelly, you will be fighting in December. It's come through. Maybe a harder fight than he was expecting, but look, what an event. You cannot... Ish said one thing to me: who am I, Ishmael Davies, to turn down an opportunity like this? And it gave me goosebumps, and I wish more fighters were like that.
And I will say, anyway, what camera am I on here?
That one there.
Any young pros out there, look at Ishmael Davies. Look at what he's done. Stay in shape, stay in the gym, because opportunities like this are life-changing. He's had 2 of them now.
Let me just ask you one question about Ish. How much more prepared is he than the version that fought Josh Kelly?
Well, he had to change his date by, 4, 5, 6 weeks forward for the Josh Kelly fight. So he was only like halfway through a camp. Like I said, before the decision was announced, go back and watch it. Turki Al-Sheikh was in Ishmael's corner. He told him, before the decision was announced, you're fighting again Saudi in December. He told him that. When he was the loser, he came back and said, you're still fighting Saudi. And then when he went over there, they agreed on it, but not at this level, I'll be real. Ish was, expecting to come back 6-8 rounder, headlining the Wednesday show maybe. It's like, well done for risking it. But look, things change, feelings change, and people change too. And when you have a fighter like Ish, with the heart of Ish, he will go full confidence and full head first into any opportunity in boxing. He is so grateful and feels lucky to be a part of the main script of boxing, and he probably deep down in his wildest thoughts probably never imagined it would happen, or it happened so quick. And what do we do as boxers? We train the best as we can, we prepare the best, we take the hardest fights. If you win a hard fight, your reward is, okay, a bit more money, but a harder fight in the future. If you don't win that hard fight, you have to come back, you dust off, and you keep going. And let's be real, that's where we are at in boxing right now. The real fighters only come, turn up, fight. The winners go on, and so do the losers, because once we've seen, once we've engaged, once we've watched someone's fight, we've got some context. It matters now when they come on a poster. If we just keep dragging up people no one's ever heard of, that's how shows get killed. I love this style of matchmaking.
Like the way he sidestepped the Fury Usyk.
I know, yeah, a little bit.
Do you know what it is,
He was
right?
smart. He's only been doing this 2 minutes.
One thing, I'll be real, I have never picked against Usyk from when he was winning the worlds, from when he was going up and down from heavyweight to cruiserweight, from when he was dominating WSB. I watched him beat Joe Joyce in York Hall. If you asked at any time in pretty much my whole boxing career, apart from maybe a couple of years as he's first turned pro, there's not a single person, heavyweight or otherwise, that can beat Usyk, and I think that still stands today. And he's that good, he's that technically complete, his engine is in a rhythm where the big guys can't keep up for the whole fight. And what he seems to do, he gives them a couple of middle rounds where he slows off, and in the moment they have some success, he flips it on his head and buries the fight every time. And I like Fury, I like their family, and I'm a fan of his and what he's done for British boxing. But how do you pick against Usyk? I've never been able to at one time yet, and it's not going to be this time either.
Is that the easiest weighing you've ever had, Darren, on live stream? It's probably the least you've ever spoke, I think.
One of the most grandest, I would say.
Sonny's done you a favour, I think.
Yeah.
You've just been out to enjoy it, really.
The governor, isn't he?
Well, this is kind of like my trial run. I'm hoping that this leads to a lot more, because right now I'm unemployed, with not many career prospects. So if anyone's listening that has the power to be, I would love to be here again next year.
Well, Sonny, it was a pleasure to have you with us today, and we hope many times also in the future. As Sonny was just saying, so much to look forward to next week in Riyadh on DAZN. All the questions answered in that thrilling heavyweight rematch, the unified belts on the line. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk do it all again. First, though, it's Monte Carlo tomorrow night from the Salle des Etoiles here in Monaco, live on DAZN. From myself, Jamie Ward, from Sonny Edwards, and from Darren Barker, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Monte Carlo, a destination of elegance, both glamorous and exceptional. But beyond the roaring engines and velvet tuxedos hides a place sacred in the world of boxing. Tucked away along the French Riviera, a Monégasque canvas sets the stage for a beautiful yet brutal ballet, curated from the four corners of the world. For 'tis the season of the showdown, a magical time that comes only once each year, when one may revel whilst wiping drops of blood from one's champagne flute. Where might you experience such an event? Only in Monte Carlo, of course. Monte Carlo, a destination of elegance, both glamorous and exceptional.